Paul Savini is a detective with the Woonsocket Police. In April of 2003, he works the missing persons case of a local prostitute.
Her name was Audrey Harris. She was in her 40s.
A month after Audrey Harris goes missing, her case remains unsolved when a second woman disappears off a Woonsocket Street corner.
My partner and I were assigned a missing persons case on a Christine Dumont. She was a 42-year-old white female, reported missing May 3rd of 2004.
Like Audrey Harris, Christine Dumont is a woman on the edge, a drug user who has worked the streets for years and is now missing. Debbie Berger worries about her daughter, Stacy.
I think she was looking for fast money and got up in the wrong situation and liked the cash, but didn't like what she did.
In July of 2004, a mother's worst fears are realized when Stacy's boyfriend files a missing persons report with police.
He says, "Stacy's missing." I says, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, she didn't come home last night."
That's it. It's like she disappeared off the face of the earth.
The people who were missing, we knew that they were arrested before for prostitution. We know that's a high-risk endeavor.
The pair dig into the three cases and quickly ID a pool of suspects.
We really had no other suspects other than a potential John.
We want to know everyone that's coming into the city picking up these prostitutes.
An anonymous call to the PD gives detectives a fresh lead.
Jocelyn Martel was attacked by a guy. She fits the same category as the girls that are missing. Probably has information that you might want. Maybe you should get a hold of her.
The information was a phone call, an anonymous phone call that said we might want to speak with Jocelyn Martel.
I had a heroin addiction. I did it because I needed the money for my drug addiction.
In July of 2004, cold case detectives sit down and listen as Martel talks about the night a trick almost turned deadly.
He pulled up. I was walking on the sidewalk, and he's like, "You want to make some money?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know." We went into the house. We spoke about money for sex. I asked him where he wanted to go, and as soon as I turned my back to him, he put his arm around my neck and started choking me. What I did was I banged my head back on his head, and we both fell backwards. And when we both fell backwards, I stuck my thumb in his eye, and he let me go, and I ran out the door.
Jocelyn survived the assault, but never reported it to police.
It's unfortunate. A lot of times they think that the police aren't going to help them because of the lifestyle they're in. That's certainly not the case.
Jocelyn doesn't know her attacker's name, but she remembers where he lives.
The color of the house, and she described the shutters, the trim. She described how she got in. We were able to get that address, run it through our computer system, find out who lives there.
The house is rented by 33-year-old Jeff Maleheart.
He's nowhere to be found in our database. Not a ticket, not an arrest.
Maleheart seems clean. Then detectives run his home address through their computers.
We did a computer check, and then Eddie found that there was another case at that house that had happened several months earlier with another prostitute.
Another prostitute who tells detectives about a John who tried to kill her.
He said, "All right, you know, come in, have a drink." So I sat at the kitchen table, you know, and we was talking and everything like that. I opened up a can of beer and I grabbed a napkin, and when I went to turn back around, he was behind me.
He comes up from behind, gets her in a chokehold, and she has a violent struggle with him. She remembers that to the point of almost losing consciousness.
The man grabbed me with his forearm and had me like this in a chokehold. I could not breathe, and I couldn't scream. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
She just screams and pleads for her life. "Please, please, please, you let me go. Well, you know, I won't say anything to anybody."
He didn't say not one word to me. And I knew at that point my life was over. And I started crying. I'm saying, "Sir, please, I have a baby. My money's in my pocketbook. Please, just don't hurt me."
And she says this, gives him this cold stare, and just tells her to leave, and she walks out the apartment.
I don't know why he didn't kill me. I don't know why he let me go. He just said, "Get the out of here. I don't want to see you around here no more."
Teese Morris is the second woman to allegedly be attacked by Maleheart and live to tell about it.
I mean, this guy's playing this game. He's already choked 2 girls. I mean, chokehold is a very, very dangerous move. He tried it on these 2. Obviously, he might have tried it on other girls, and maybe they didn't get away. And that was our whole theory. So, yeah, we had our arrest warrant and our search warrant, and we, very hopeful to get him in.
On July 16th, Sergeants Lee and Nowak head to 221 Cato Street and slip the cuffs on Jeff Maleheart.
Hi, Jeff. Any idea why you're here?
No idea. No idea.
You ever have a problem with a prostitute in your house?
I've never had a serious problem with a prostitute in my house, no.
It's a game. You go into that room, and your sole purpose is to retrieve whatever he's hiding.
You get this off your conscience. It's going to be like someone left in a car off your back. I've seen this 1,000 times. What is it?
F5.
You what?
I've gotten a little physical.
Yeah. Okay. What do you usually do?
I choked him a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to get at. Okay? I'm sure you feel better getting that off your chest, but...
Maleheart admits to choking prostitutes, but will go no further.
It's never going too far. It's never going that. I've never killed anybody.
You never choked someone that didn't wake up?
No.
Detectives aren't buying Maleheart's story. Lee switches gears and slides photos of 3 girls across the table.
I don't know any of these girls.
No?
Mm-mm. None of these is the ones that I had.
You positive? That was a pretty quick look.
When I threw those 3 photos down there, the 3 victims, he had an immediate reaction. You could see it all over his body language, his expressions. He was very nervous, and he knew there was something there.
I mean, I've never killed anybody. That's what you're getting at.
Who said that these girls were killed? First.
He told us, you guys think I killed these girls. We had never told him that the girls were dead. We didn't know the girls were dead. So that was a red flag for us. That's when we really started hitting him a little harder with, the questions we were asking.
I hope you tell the truth, because you're playing stuff in your apartment, coming up, anything, you know all about DNA and all that stuff now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Detectives are walking Maleheart closer and closer to the very edge of a triple homicide.
It was apparent that he was going to give it up. I mean, he was starting to cry, he was shaking, he would pause, long, unnatural pauses, like he was thinking about, what should I do?
You're playing a dangerous, dangerous game out there with these girls. Any one of these girls could have ended up dead. And we will get to the bottom whether or not you had these girls in your house.
Tears start to well up in his eyes that you can't see on the videotape, but sitting there, that's when you realize, oh my God, he's gonna confess to this.
A little more than an hour into the interview, Maleheart breaks.
Jeff, your life will be over. Over unless you get this off your chest. I know you're not a bad man. I know you just pushed it too far. What happened? What happened, Jeff? What happened? You pushed it too far one night, right? Things got out of hand. Huh?
Yeah.
All of them?
Mm-hmm.
All 3?
All 3.
All right. Good job. Where are they? Where are they, Jeff?
Dead.
You're working so hard, and then when it finally comes, it's like, oh my God, he's really done this. A million things are going through your mind, your heart's racing, your adrenaline's flowing.
Where are they?
They're in garbage bags.
Garbage bags? Where?
I just dumped them in trash containers.
How did you fit them in trash bags?
I cut them up.
Maleheart says he cut up each victim in his bathtub, wrapped their body parts in black plastic bags, and threw them in dumpsters.
I wanted to choke him myself. I mean, I could not believe that a human being could do that to another human being.
Just before 9 p.m., Maleheart is cuffed and led to a jail cell. With confession in hand, Detectives believe their case is complete. That is, until the DA decides the state needs more.
It's not enough for somebody to say, I did it. You have to give some evidence that it occurred, and we didn't have the bodies.
Where is she?
I don't know right now where she is, probably in a landfill right now. Okay.
If Jeff Maleheart dumped his victims like trash, their remains should be at the local landfill. On July 19th, cold case detectives head out with a backhoe.
It's kind of hard to believe the magnitude of what's behind me, but the size of the landfill, the amount of trash that was here, just realizing, I mean, you're kind of, in essence, looking for a needle in a haystack, I guess you can say.
For 6 days, the team searches, but comes up empty-handed. On the 7th, Detective Fairley unearths a small black bag wrapped in duct tape.
When I did open it, it was kind of, a little shock to me. I saw the remains of a scalp, a crushed scalp. I believe it was 2 forearms. The skin was removed, the bones were crushed, but I was able to decipher what was what, distinguish those amongst other body parts.
The remains are eventually ID'd as Stacy Goulet, the last of Jeff Malehart's victims. The remains of Audrey Harris and Christine Dumont are never recovered. On February 15th, the defendant pleads guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of assault.
So he got life plus 10 years. That's how it broke down.
What he did was horrendous. To me, I look at him, he's just a monster. I was satisfied for what he received. I'm confident that he'll never see the light of day again, and he'll spend the rest of his remaining years behind bars where he belongs.